It is the oldest cosmic joke in the book. You spend months, perhaps years, holding the vigil, checking the screen, analyzing the silence, pouring your life force into a void that refuses to fill up. You pray, you manifest, you bargain with God, and nothing happens. Then the moment arrives, not with a bang, but with a quiet exhale. You reach a point of exhaustion so profound that it feels like surrender. You decide that you are done. You don't just say it, you feel it in your marrow. You turn your back on the door you've been staring at. You reclaim your energy. You start to live, truly live without them. And precisely then, the phone rings. He returns. The text comes through. Why? Is it cruelty? Is the universe taunting you? No, it is physics. It is biology. We call it the law of reversed effort. But today, I want to show you the mechanics of it. I want to explain why your indifference, your true biological indifference, is the most potent magnetic force in the universe, and why the unawakened counterpart cannot help but step forward when you finally stop leaning in. Let us descend into the microscopic truth of your connection. We often view love as a purely romantic endeavor, a swirl of emotions and destiny, but at its bedrock, love is biology. It is electricity. It is physics. To understand why he retreats when you advance, we must look at this dynamic without sentimentality and without the soft lens of hope. We must look at it through the cold, clear lens of the nervous system. For a long time, you have likely identified as the one waiting. In the spiritual lexicon, you might call yourself the holder of space or the divine feminine. You tell yourself you are being patient, that you are keeping the candle lit for his return. But often, underneath that noble title, there is a nervous system stuck in a state of hypervigilance. You are not just holding space, you are vibrating with anticipation. You are checking the phone, you are monitoring his social media, you are analyzing the silence for hidden Morse code. When you are fixated on a specific outcome, when you are waiting for him to choose you, you are projecting a very specific frequency. It is loud, it is piercing, it is the frequency of need. To you, this intensity feels like devotion. It feels like the depth of your love. But to the unawakened counterpart, this frequency does not feel like love. It feels like a demand. It feels like a debt he cannot pay. Imagine, if you will, a thick, braided, energetic rope connecting your solar plexus to his. This is the bond between you. When you are anxious, when you are checking, when you are yearning, you are pulling on that rope. You are creating tension. You are leaning all your weight backward, trying to drag him closer to you. Sir Isaac Newton's third law of motion tells us that for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. This is not just true for apples and gravity. It is true for souls. When you pull, he must brace himself to keep his balance. He leans back. He digs his heels into the dirt. He does this not because he does not love you. He does it because his survival instinct tells him that if he does not lean back, he will be pulled over. He will be toppled. He will be consumed by the gravity of your needs. Biologically, the avoidant soul often possesses a nervous system that equates intimacy with engulfment. His internal wiring is different from yours. Where you see connection as safety, he sees connection as a potential loss of self. When you project your energy toward him with such velocity, his amygdala, the ancient threat detection center of the brain, lights up. He does not see a lover, he sees a hunter. You must understand the primal nature of this. When a being feels hunted, it has only two options: it runs or it hides. The more you pursue, the faster he must run to maintain the distance he feels he needs to breathe. If you corner him, he will freeze, he will go silent, he will disappear into the cave of his own mind. This is the great paradox of the anxious heart. The more you want it, the more you push it away. By constantly projecting your energy toward him, you're occupying all the energetic real estate in the connection. Imagine a room that represents your relationship. You are standing in the center, arms wide, filling every corner with your words, your worries, your gifts, and your presence. There is no room for him to step inside. There is no vacuum for him to fill. You have been doing the work for two. You have been loving for two. You have been worrying for two. You have been carrying the entire emotional weight of the bond, wondering why he will not help you carry it. But he cannot carry it because you have not put it down. You are gripping it so tightly that your knuckles are white. The universe hates an imbalance. It seeks homeostasis. As long as you are leaning forward, he is compelled by the laws of physics to lean back. As long as you are the chaser, he must be the runner. These roles are symbiotic. One cannot exist without the other. If you want him to stop running, you must stop chasing. You must stop the energetic pursuit. This is not about playing games. This is not about pretending to be cold. This is about regulating your own biology so that you are no longer emitting the signal of a predator. It is about soothing your own nervous system so that you stop pulling on the rope. When you stop pulling, the tension vanishes. The rope goes slack. And in that sudden silence, in that sudden lack of resistance, he will stumble. He will look up. He will wonder where you went. And for the first time, he will have the space to step forward. Now, let us traverse the threshold into the solution. We must discuss what happens when you truly move on. And I do not mean the performance of moving on. I do not mean posting a happy photograph to provoke a reaction, nor do I mean pretending to be busy while you are secretly staring at a silent phone. The universe possesses a flawless lie detector. It responds to frequency, not to masks. I am speaking of the moment the rope actually drops from your hands because you are simply too exhausted to hold it any longer. When you release that tension, the physics of your connection change instantly. Imagine the rope we spoke of earlier. For months, perhaps years, he has been leaning back, bracing himself against your relentless pull. He has built his entire stance around resistance. He expects the pull. He relies on it to define his position. But the moment you drop the rope, that tension disappears. The resistance he was pushing against evaporates. In that split second of release, he physically and energetically stumbles. He experiences a sudden loss of equilibrium. The energy that was flooding him, your attention, your gaze, your monitoring, your desire, vanishes. He is left standing in a vacuum, and there is a fundamental law that governs both nature and the human psyche. Nature abhors a vacuum. It cannot tolerate empty space. It seeks to fill it immediately. When you withdraw your energy, you create a vast, empty space in the dynamic that he is now compelled to fill. For the first time, the responsibility of the connection is not being carried solely by you. When you stop rowing the boat, the current takes over. When you stop speaking, the silence becomes loud. In that silence, he is forced to confront himself. He is forced to generate his own energy to maintain the bond, simply because you are no longer supplying it for free. Consider the physics of a star. Consider the sun. The sun is the ultimate symbol of the sovereign soul. The sun does not beg the earth to orbit it. The sun does not chase the planets, asking them why they are drifting away. The sun does not diminish its light when a planet moves into shadow. The sun simply burns. It is content in its own existence. It possesses such immense mass, such immense gravity, that other bodies are naturally, effortlessly drawn to it. Your indifference is not coldness. It is the act of becoming the sun. When you are chasing, you are a satellite, orbiting his moods, orbiting his indecision. You have made him the center of your gravity. Paradigm shift occurs when you stop being the satellite and remember that you're the star. You must become so dense with your own life force, so heavy with your own self-worth, that gravity does the work for you. This is the process of energy retrieval. For too long, you have been fragmented. You have left pieces of your soul in his timeline, in his past, in his potential future. You are scattered. When you truly move on, you are calling your spirit back. You are retrieving your energy from the ether and placing it firmly back into your own solar plexus. You become dense. You become whole. You become bioluminescent. This bioluminescence is what he fell in love with in the beginning. He did not fall in love with the anxious version of you who needs reassurance. He fell in love with the mystery. He fell in love with the woman who belonged to herself. When you reclaim that sovereignty, you become visible to him again. We are connected by quantum entanglement. This is the spooky action at a distance that Einstein spoke of. Even if you are 1,000 miles away, even if you have not spoken in months, the particles that make up your being are entangled with his. When the particle that is you changes its spin, the particle that is him must adjust its orientation. It is unavoidable. He feels the shift. He may not understand it intellectually. He may wake up one morning with a sudden, inexplicable heaviness in his chest. He may feel a cold spot where your warm validation used to be. He senses that the energetic IV drip has been removed. He feels the silence you have created, and for the first time in a long time, he becomes curious. Curiosity is the seed of desire. By removing your certainty, you have given him the gift of wonder. You have given him the space to wonder where you are, who you are becoming, and why you no longer need him to survive. In that space, in that holy vacuum, is the only place where he can choose to return. We have explored the physics of your connection and the biology of his resistance. We have understood the necessity of the vacuum. Now, we must ground these high concepts into your daily reality. How do we embody this shift? How do we move from the anxious heart, trembling with the need for validation, to the sovereign soul, anchored in her own worth? This transformation is not about behavior modification. It is not about playing hard to get. Playing hard to get is a manipulation, and manipulation is a low vibration. This is about becoming hard to leave, because you have fundamentally left the game entirely. To achieve this, we must initiate 3 specific internal shifts. These are not actions you take. They are frequencies you embody. The first shift is what I call regulate to receive. You must understand that your anxiety is not a personality trait, it is a biological event. For a long time, you have taught your body that safety is found outside of you. You have taught your nervous system that safety is found in knowing what he is doing, where he is, and who he is with. When the urge to check on him arises, when the itch to look at his social media burns in your fingers, recognize it for what it is. It is not intuition. It is a cortisol spike. It is your body screaming for a dopamine hit to soothe its fear of abandonment. You must interrupt this cycle. You must teach your body that safety is found within the boundaries of your own skin. When the panic rises, do not reach for the phone. Reach for your breath. Place your hand on your belly. You must communicate with your own nervous system. You must tell it, I am safe. I am here. I am the destination. You must stop hunting for crumbs of affection and start gathering your own peace. A dysregulated nervous system repels abundance, but a calm nervous system is a landing pad for miracles. You cannot receive him if you are vibrating with the frantic energy of a hunter. You must become the garden, still and open, waiting for the rain. The second shift is to cut the feed. For the duration of this connection, you have acted as an energetic IV drip for him. Even your silent worrying feeds him. Even when you are not speaking to him, if you are obsessing over him, you are sending a stream of golden life force directly into his etheric field. You are keeping him alive energetically while you deplete your own reserves. You must pull the needle out. You must visualize the invisible cords that stretch from your heart to his, and you must understand that severing them is not an act of hate. Do not cut them with anger, for anger is still a form of attachment. Anger is just passion turned inside out. Instead, simply unplug them with grace. Take that plug and insert it back into your own chest. Direct that golden stream of energy into your own dreams. Feed your own finances. Feed your own body. Feed your own creative spirit. You must starve his ego to feed your soul. When you stop feeding him your energy, he will feel the famine, he will feel the lack of sustenance, and he will realize that the free banquet is over. The third and final shift is the most difficult, yet it is the key to the entire kingdom. I call this the death of the strategy. This is where most people fail. You cannot do this work so that he comes back. As long as you are performing indifference as a tactic to manipulate a specific outcome, you are still in the trap. You are still waiting. You are still checking the rearview mirror. As long as you are checking the rearview mirror to see if he is following you, you have not really driven away. You are just parked down the street. The universe cannot be fooled by a strategy. it responds to your true vibration. You must be willing to lose the connection completely in order to save yourself. It is a terrifying paradox, but it is the absolute truth. You must reach a place of such deep internal fulfillment that his return would be a pleasant surprise, like finding a forgotten $10 bill in a coat pocket, rather than a necessary requirement for your survival. You must detach from the outcome. When you no longer need him to return to feel whole, you become a vibrational match for the version of him that is capable of staying. You are no longer vibrating at the frequency of lack. You are vibrating at the frequency of wholeness. And wholeness always attracts wholeness. This is the law. The universe is always seeking equilibrium. For years, you have been heavy on the scale, pressing down with your love, your effort, your waiting. Now you lift your weight, and as you rise, he must sink into the reality of what he is losing. Your indifference is a magnetic force because it signals high value. It signals that you are the prize. It signals that your love is a gift to be earned, not a tax to be paid. He returns when you move on, because that is the moment you finally become the person he fell in love with in the beginning. The woman who didn't need him. The woman who was a mystery. The woman who was whole. Don't wait for the text. The text is irrelevant. You are the text. You are the message. You are the event. Be the sun. Let the gravity do the work. If you are ready to stop the chase and start the reception, sit with this silence. I'll see you in the next moment.